beautiful, beautiful morning. Absolutely stunning. Thanks for choosing to watch the video. As you can see, I am back down on the coast again, and I have brought my perch fishing gear with me again because yes, we're going out with the lures again, and this time we're going to fish for some wrasse. There's two methods that I'm going to take you through. First is going ultralight with the lures, and the second is beefing things up to try and catch that larger fish. So going ultralight, what do we mean by this? This is, it's a tactic. If you just want some fun fishing, just get your drop shot rod. I use exactly the same stuff that I do on the river for the perch. So that's, only about £10 braid. If you bring down the leader that you create the drop shot with to about £4 breaking strain, and you use a tiny hook like a size 16 or a 14, and then just use tiny little grub lures, you can have an awful lot of fun just catching fish. You're going to catch small wrasse, you're going to catch other species as well, and trust me, it's just a lot of fun. In terms of the lures that you would fish on the drop shot, I would go with tiny lures, so tiny little section of blood teas or little grubs, or there's loads of, I would go with a small little sort of worm style or grub style lure, and just a little section of it. You don't want anything that's more than about 1 inch long, and yeah, just fish that on a tiny hook and a light line, and you're just going to have a lot of fun catching everything. If you don't know how to tie up a drop shot, I'll put a link on the screen here. If you haven't got any lures, then if you are on the coast, go to a tackle shop, ask for some ragworm, and use tiny little sections of ragworm on the drop shot as well. Absolutely devastating. So this is certainly not the most picturesque part of the harbour, but it is away from the main quay area that's over there. It gets very busy at this time of year, so I've come somewhere where I can do a bit of filming without looking like an idiot. But it is a fairly typical bit of harbour. I've got my light lure rod with me, the ultralight drop shot set up on it, and let's just see what we catch. One thing I would say about this light lure fishing and the drop shot is that try and do it when the tide is on the ebb. By that I mean an hour before high tide, an hour either side of high tide or low tide, when it's not doing too much, because otherwise it can just get whisked away in the current. Also, I thought that was one then. Also, there's a lot of debris in the water when the tide's moving quickly, a lot of sort of weed and stuff like that, and that all becomes less of a problem when the tide is on the ebb. See what we've got here. Yeah, it is a wrasse. Just about to swing it in. Lovely. Absolutely stunning. What a morning. All before breakfast. Loads of them. First one on the heavier setup. There's another, this time in camo. Super. Here we go. There we go. Lovely. Just had to be a bit patient. We've had about a dozen of these now. And there it is, cracking. And there we go, look. Stunning, stunning little wrasse just drop shotting. Absolutely lovely. Catching plenty of these. Hopefully we can find something bigger if we can hit the rocks. Stunning, absolutely stunning little fish. There we go. There we go. This time a green one. These are so stunning. So there you go, a really nice little ultralight session. If you are on the coast, just get a rod, have some light line. Don't, you know, if you go to a fishing tackle shop on the coast, everything's brutally heavy. So maybe go to a coarse fishing shop, make sure that you get 4-pound line, really fine, 6 at the most, size 14, 16 hook, so everything really tiny. The drop shot weight, I would say about 10 gram, because you do want to get down in the water, but really you're fishing up against harbour walls here in this method. So yeah, just go to the harbour, fish up against the harbour walls with the drop shot, little bits of ragworm or small lures on the hook, and you will catch plenty of fish. It's a great thing to do if you're on holiday, if you're with the kids and the family, take them along and just have a lot of fun catching all sorts of species on this method. But now to some sessions where I step things up a bit. I'm wanting to catch some bigger wrasse. For that, I'm going to hit the rocks. I'm coming away from the harbour and the harbour walls. I'm going out on the rocks, hopefully in search of a big wrasse. For this method, it couldn't be much more different to the ultralight stuff I was doing in the first part of the video. We've got a much bigger rod. This is actually a travel rod. It's 40 grams, I think, about 41 grams. I would say go with something that's somewhere between 25 and 40, yeah, pretty hefty. You know, I've got some rods that are around about 25 I use for this as well. But yeah, you want a fairly stiff rod for this. 2000 size reel with a bigger spool. So yeah, a lot more power in the rod. I've got 25-pound braid on that. You could go probably a bit heavier than that. I've got a leader, a fluorocarbon leader. This is about 18 pounds. You need something that's got a fair amount of abrasion resistance against the rocks, because we are fishing rocks. And on that, I have got a Texas rig. That is an 18-gram cone weight. I've got a bead, and then I've got a wide gape weedless hook, and I've got a creature bait. The tactic I'm going to use for this is big creature baits. So when I say big, I like to use about 4-inch creature baits. Choose your favourite. Lures, wrasse, they smash everything, they really do. So yeah, go with a 4-inch creature bait, or one that's almost that size, and I'll show you how I like to rig those up for the rocks. So let's hit the rocks, see if we can catch a bigger fish. Stunning. What a beautiful, beautiful morning. On the Jurassic coast, trying to find these wrasse. Just looks awesome, doesn't it? And the water is so much calmer this time. That felt like it might have been a tap. Just on a small crazy fish nimble on the Texas rig. You're coming in. Slammed it. And it is what we're after. Whew. At last. Ooh. A little. Cracking. Woo! And there we are, look. Another absolute stunner. Not huge, but out here early morning catching these. Look, you see the little nimble. Absolutely stunning. So on my next session, it wasn't quite as sunny as that. In fact, the conditions were really quite moody. Arguably, maybe I shouldn't have been out there. And in fact, I've decided to pull the GoPro footage from this one of me catching quite a nice wrasse, which is a little bit annoying, but I just think it'll be irresponsible of me to show it on YouTube. I don't think I was as safe as maybe I should have been. And yeah, that is a little bit embarrassing. You know, I think I was probably safe enough, but what I don't want to do is for some youngster maybe to see that on YouTube and think it's all right to fish like that. On reflection, I probably wasn't maybe as safe as I should have been. To go out onto the rocks in those conditions on my own isn't something that I would condone. But I am going to share with you the fish I caught, because it was an absolute banger. I'm going to keep this really short because the mic is going to pick up all this wind. Probably fishing in one of the most wildest environments that I ever have done. And I'm down here with creature baits and I'm trying to catch the wrasse. I'm going to keep it short, I'm going to get fishing, and yeah, I'll keep talking to camera to probably a minimum because yeah, it's almost impossible to film up here, to be honest. So yeah, let's crack on with the fishing. Got. Doesn't look like the wrasse, huh? What is it, a bass? It's a bass. Look. Yes. Look at that. Well, it's blowing a gale. Look, got a little bass. Cracking. I'm here after the wrasse. Some of you might recognise the lighthouse. First bite of the morning, and it's a bass. Hopefully, we'll find those wrasse. There we go. Whee! Absolutely stunning creatures. I mean, look at the markings, unlike anything. Unreal, totally unreal. Beautiful. Unreal, you probably can't hear a word I'm saying. Probably the wildest environment I've fished in, and a cracking wrasse. Bloody nightmare. I mean, you see how windy it is up here. Look, it's a bloody nightmare. And my tripod just went over and I've smashed my new lens, which I'm a bit annoyed about. So I'm going to call it a day there. I think the wind's really picked up. The sea's got quite savage. I am staying safe. Anyone that's a little bit worried about that, I am making sure I'm staying safe, keeping well back, not putting myself at risk. I do think ideally it'd come somewhere like this as a pair, but I caught the fish and I'm now heading back to the car and calling it a day. that's it. That's my take on fishing for wrasse. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, then please remember to like and subscribe and all that stuff. And I will see you in the next one.